These are kind of a vibe, huh? How's everybody doing? ARL year 4. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, that seems like a perfect way to fade out. Hello, good evening, everybody. Oh. Welcome, hi, yo, what up? Year 4, I still don't know how to control OBS. Here we are. Hi, everyone. My name is Luke Balancio. I am one of your ARL program directors. Welcome back. I'm excited to be here, of course, as always, with some new content. A new ARL handbook to cover, a whole new season. I hope you guys are busy working on new robots and or fixing up the older ones, and we'll get underway here. If you don't know anything about the Arizona Robotics League, let me tell you, we are a series of off-season lagging. We are a series of off-season events organized by. Actually, a lot of people. Shout out volunteers. But we will be running one FRC off-season event from May to October, completely free, all at Cactus High School. And so it's an opportunity for teams to continue to work beyond the regular FRC season and build new robots, train new students, practice things, and prepare to meet their goals in the following year, 2026 FRC. If my microphone is at all bad or I'm lagging, let me know. We do that a lot around here. I usually have the wrong things set up. I also haven't dusted off OBS since the ARL Alliance Selection Show last year. So if something's messed up, just let me know. All right, let's get into it, huh? All right, perfect. Thank you. Arizona Robotics League, you can find us on the social medias that are on the screen. We are planning to have a much more active presence on YouTube and on Instagram this year, so make sure to follow us there. We will also have more of an active presence on our Twitch channel, so if you're watching this live for the very first time, welcome and thank you. A little behind the scenes, we're really trying to increase our number of hours streaming this year. So we have a lot more content planned for you, and then as well as rerunning a lot of our shows and events. So if you don't get to watch an ARL live because you're competing or you're out of town, look to find it the following weekend. We'll be rerunning all of the ARL events just on here on the Twitch channel, as well as you could find all the matches split up on the YouTube. What you can't find on the YouTube is all of our awesome analysis on the analysis desk and that kind of thing. So you have to come back and watch the stream for that stuff. Along the same lines, we're planning to bring back and have workshops again this year, which I'm really excited about. We're going to have one a year, more on that in the coming weeks. Or one a month. I say one a year, one a month. And we'll have a few other shows. Maybe like we did an ARL watch party a year ago. 2 years ago? Goodness gracious. 2 years ago. So maybe we'll bring that back for some of the off seasons that are going around the country. Maybe like IRI or Chesney Champ, something like that. But for the most part, this is it. You got me. No, I'm just kidding. This is the ARL Kickoff show. It's going to be the only show of its kind. Immediately following this show, we are going to have our inaugural ARL prediction show. The ARL prediction show is going to replace the ARL warm-up. So the ARL warm-up wasn't quite hitting my expectations in terms of how fun it was and kind of the content we were creating, which is why you didn't see it pretty much at all last year. So we're going to strictly do this ARL prediction show, which I think is everyone's favorite part of the ARL warm-up. And it'll be a much shorter show, I think hopefully much more fun. And so that first episode, and I have some great guests that you all know. We have that lined up as soon as we finish the kickoff show. And then, as always, we will be back with our ARL Extra Innings show next Wednesday with everybody's favorite segments like the ARL Roundup and then everyone's favorite segment, Schroyer's Hotbots. That is all returning this year. So welcome. I guess before I jump into the handbook, let's take a look at what we can expect in ARL 2025.
Let me hear it, yo. Where my people's at? I like that. Bang on your chest if you the best. We be number one, ain't nothing else. Diamonds on my head, let the crown tell it. Make way, man, let me do my do. K-I-N-G. We the crown jewels, we don't deal with no fools, yo. K-I-N-G. Next on deck, dedicated to the queens, go Q-U-E-E-N. And just in case you ain't heard me, I'ma say it again, it go Q-U-E-E-N. We give a toast to the most because the rain never ends. Yeah, a little louder. I like that, go. Yo, louder. Let's go.
And by see you soon, I mean see you right now. Here we are. Yeah, so ARL. I hope everyone has, if you've had the opportunity to be on this journey with us for the past 3 years, thank you. We are, like I said, we are really excited to be back for year 4 within the ARL planning committee, and then at our key volunteers. We have themes that we bring every season, and so this year it's really about sustainability, right? We really want to focus on making ARL as sustainable and locked in a program, right? Repeatability as we can, because we want to continue to bring it to you. We want year 5, future outlook of the program. We want year 5 to be our biggest ever, including expansion in a few different ways. So we'll have more on the expansion of ARL come ARL Championship, which is really exciting, obviously. But thank you all for committing, and whether you're a student or a coach or a parent or whatever you classify yourself as, the fact that you are making summer count, as we like to say, is huge props to all of you. The summer is invaluable time for teams, and a lot of the time, unfortunately, it can get wasted, whether it's because school's out, teachers on vacation, schools are locked, things like that. So every year ARL has, I think, cracked more and more programs open. We're planning for the off season, planning for the summer, planning to have, the school open, or planning to build a second robot, or planning to train new students, right? And once we've hit that, now that we've hit that ARL is a regular part of people's programs and their year planning, that's great. That's awesome. That was the goal from the very beginning, right? And we are growing every year. If you're curious how ARL is doing, we are growing every year. We are going to have this coming weekend our largest ARL May we've ever had. Right, we've never had this many teams at our first event. Usually we're bringing the Phantom robots out. So fingers crossed, no Phantom robots this season. I know everyone's heartbroken about that. But fingers crossed, no Phantom robots this season. We're hoping for full fields of robots until we hit our capacity, which I'll cover right now. But yes, thank you all for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Let's cover some of the changes for ARL 2025, some of the changes for the game and for robot rules. So I'm going to switch to the display here. As you saw in that video, all of our dates are locked in. Why is that unique? Well, that's not always the case. We were able to lock all of our dates in early this year, including the ARL Championship, so you can lock that in on your calendars. You can get approval from your teacher, from your district, whatever you need. You can set that all up now. 5 qualifying events, 1 championship. As a reminder, just general for how ARL works, you got to attend 2 of these qualifiers to qualify for the championship. And then, like we've had the past 3 years, the ARL Alliance Selection is a Twitch show and Twitch-based activity that happens between ARL Qualifier 5 and the ARL Championship. We are taking that normal Alliance selection process and we're putting it online, giving teams a chance to do it from home, and then also giving them weekends this time, many, in between to practice and plan with their future Alliance partners. So all the events are available, and they're out now. So also all of those are in our Discord channel, which I forgot to plug at the beginning. Our Discord is almost to 500 users. I'm hoping to hit 500 this season. All of the dates and all of the qualifiers are in the Discord event calendar. So if you ever have any questions, you can check there. All right, so where can I scroll to here? Do I remember where it is? Slide guy might have to let me know. ARL now has a max capacity of 35 teams. Wherever that is living in here, I don't remember. But ARL now has a max capacity of 35 teams. I know. Control F. 35. Not that one. Not that one. This 35? Whatever. ARL now has a max capacity of 35 teams. I can't find it, so I'll just talk to you. Why do we have a max capacity now? First of all, we were never sure we'd hit this number of teams. So we kind of just took it as we went, right? Like every single time we had our largest event ever, we would evaluate how we had to set pits up, how many qualification matches we had, and overall what the event was like, right? Just gathering data, from the event. And after last year, we really kind of hit this happy medium of like, we can fit 35 teams and still have some cafeteria space available for lunch. And especially during our early ARL events when it's super hot outside, that is really important. Can we fit more than 35 teams? Yes. Will we evaluate after the end of the season if we get, if we start really excluding a high number of robots from later events? Yes. But we do have a max capacity of 35 teams. What does that mean? Here I am. I found it. What does that mean? And I encourage, again, I said it in my announcement post in the Discord, but I encourage all of you to go into the handbook and really read with your mentors, with your coaches, with your students. Really read the priority order and understand the way it works. Okay. Long story short, and this is what I posted in the Discord. Long story short, you're going to want to register as soon as possible. The sooner you register, the better your chances are you'll make it into the event. Once you hit 2 events, whether that's for a B robot or a main robot, once you hit 2 events, if we're at max capacity, right, there's a priority order. Right? Once you hit 2 events, you fall in that priority order. So it's like a catch-22, right? The earlier ARL events, less teams, easier to win, if you will, right? Because there's less teams. But we may be at max capacity come the later events. Right? It's kind of a catch-22. I can tell you right now, there was some discussion. I posted some things in the Discord earlier this week. There's a lot. We're already cracked 30. We're basically at 30 for August and September. And that's robots, not teams. That's total robots. So we are going to do our darndest to ensure that every single team who enrolls in the qualifier can come, right? But what does that mean? Well, let's say I'm on Team 498. Let's see if 498 registers 3 robots for September, the September qualifier. If it's a full event, very likely only one of my teams that I enter in is going to come, right? First, if they haven't done 2 events yet, that's first. That's higher up in the order, right? In the priority order. If they've already done that, then things move down, right? So our goal is to make sure that as many robots qualify for the championship as possible, and then every team is going to an event that they want to go to. So if you're worried about having a spot, I wouldn't. You register, and then you'll get an email basically confirming your registration as we get closer to the event. Okay? All right, so that's number 1. If you have any questions on that, I'm happy to answer them now in the Twitch chat. If not, again, it's kind of long and dry, the priority order. So again, you're just going to probably want to read that yourself. The other big change, and I won't scroll and find this, but is that if events have 16 or more robots, we were going to run 4x4 alliance playoffs. What does that mean? That means the snake draft is going to go back down one more time, right? So you go 1 to 4, 4 to 1, and then back 1 to 4. So 4 team alliances and 4 alliances. We want to... Part of the beauty of ARL is the closeness that all the teams can, we can develop a real community, right, and a real working together. And so it feels bad to exclude anyone from that possibility, right? So the fourth member of your alliance acts as a backup, but they also, in a way, act as almost not a trainee, but they will learn from the alliance, right? If you as the alliance captain or you as the first pick of the alliance take it upon yourself to make sure that fourth team is included in your strategy circle and your prep, right? That is a huge benefit. That is huge for the community. So if you're in a position to lead a group like that, or if you're the fourth robot of an alliance like that, I would highly recommend utilizing that time, utilizing the time you have to spend with those teams, because it goes a long way. It really, really does. And you might not realize it, or your students might not realize it at the time, but the more experience teams get in a playoff setting, even if it is as a backup, right, the better they will be when the time comes that they are not a backup anymore, right? Or the more they'll be motivated to not want to, to play on the carpet, if you will. All right, a lot of changes. What's next? Just a couple quick ones. The RP thresholds that they increased for the World Championship are back to normal from the regular season. So normal reef and barge RP levels, that's pretty obvious. We've done that every year of ARL, right? Those are back to normal. One fun one that I want to call attention to, because I'd be willing to bet that a lot of people glossed over it, is that we have moved forward, we have moved up team load-in on Friday night. Friday load-in, we've moved to 4 p.m. So the reasoning behind this is we want to get teams in for practice matches. For the last, 3 years, I guess we've been doing this. We've struggled to get consistent practice matches at a high volume on Fridays. And I know for one-day events that like coming up for the purpose of practicing only to have not that much practice is annoying. So I know it's only an hour, but I think that coupled with Team Update 1, which if you haven't seen Team Update 1, you can check into the Discord. Discord saw it first. We'll go over here in a second. That coupled together will really generate a lot more practice matches for the qualifiers. Okay? I'm going to mosey right along here. The 2020, the bumper rules, okay? So bumpers. We've had a lot of questions about, we encourage the use of robots that are from previous year's games. Well, the bumper rules changed pretty significantly in 2025. So do you need to build new bumpers for your older robots? No. So for this year, we will accept the 2024 bumper rules for this year. We're not guaranteeing that for future years, but for this year, we will accept the 2024 bumpers and those rules, as well as the 2025 rules. We want to get as many robots on the field as possible and as much experience spread around as possible. So don't worry about building new bumpers for those robots. The 2024 ones are okay. And then as per usual for ARL, the 5-pound weight limit for increase is back. So yeah, have fun. Build. I think some of this I hinted at in the ARL Discords, which is another reason why you should join that, so you see all this stuff earlier than the ARL Kickoff show. All right, so if you haven't seen, we just had Team Update 1 go out. And so what is Team Update 1? Team Update 1 is really cool. Shout out to our awesome LRI, Austin, for a lot of these changes and suggestions. He really kind of spearheaded these. And so the idea behind the inspection changes is to make inspection as breezy as possible to get teams on the field faster, right? Some of you have been in this position where whether you hit traffic driving up to Cactus on Saturday, right? Because you're not required to load in on Fridays, whether you hit traffic or you're driving up from out of city and you arrive, let's say you arrive like 20 minutes till match 1 and you're in match 1. Well, what has happened in the past is that like you might miss match 1 because you're not through inspection. So this team update does a couple things. It aims to simplify the safety inspection with a new term, basic inspection, after your robot has already been through safety inspection. And then it also aims to, like I said, allow for robots to kind of get expedited onto the field so they don't miss their first match. At ARL, where there's less qualifiers and less teams, missing a match can really impact not just your event outlook, but others, and we want to minimize that. Okay, so I'm just gonna read the first 2 paragraphs of this verbatim, and then again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to toss them in the Twitch chat. Now would be a good time. All right, robots which have competed at one official FRC event in 2025 must pass a safety inspection. That's not new. No one should be surprised by that. This is the new part. At subsequent ARL events, the robot will only be subject to a basic inspection. The basic inspection is essentially, I'm not going to read this box, is essentially the playoff re-inspection that you do before playoffs at a regional, right? An inspector asks you, did you add anything between events? If you answer yes, go back to safety inspection, right? Or if you answer no, then again, it's basic inspection, all right? Robots which have not competed in at least one FRC event in 2025, so this includes 2024 robots, folks. This includes any B-bot, C-bot that did not compete in 2025 at an official FRC event, will be required to complete a full robot inspection at their first ARL event, right? At subsequent ARL events, the robot will be only subject to a basic inspection. All right, I know this is a little confusing. Handy dandy, good news. We have a flow chart. People love flow charts. We got one. Whoops. There we go. Oh, well, almost. There we go. All right, so we have this awesome flow chart. All right, let's see if I can get it in a good spot. And this is in the handbook as well as the team update, right? So this is what I just said. Did the robot compete at a 2025 regional event? Yes or no? If it's a yes, you're subject to a safety inspection. Unless on your registration form, you've opted into a full inspection. It's up to you. You could practice that if you want. If you didn't compete at a regional event in 2025, you are subject to a full inspection. Okay? Once event 1 is over, you've presumably passed one of these inspections. Now, you go to your second event. Was the robot modified between events? The answer, very simple, yes or no. If you modified the robot between events, right, you are subject to a safety inspection. Unless you opted into a full inspection, because again, you can do that. If you didn't modify the robot between events, you are subject to a basic inspection, unless you opt into a full inspection. And then after this, we just repeat. We go back to step 2 here. Was the robot modified between events? Okay, so we're just going to repeat this process throughout the season. And so we're going to take people at their word on this, right? We're going to take people at their word on this. We are, first of all, for our Twitch show, and for the inspectors, we're taking photos of robots, right? We're going to take photos of your robots so that we can track your ARL Championship points better. If we see a elevator on the robot that did not exist at the previous event, but you tell us you didn't change anything, right? Like, come on. So, we're going to hold everybody accountable for their answers, but we know that everybody has the best interest of each other at heart, and so no one's going to try to skirt anything. So that is Team Update 1. Again, read it fully, bring it up to your mentors, bring it up to your team if they're not in the ARL Discord and they don't know, because it's kind of important. But the goal of this Team Update, and again, the Team Update was created with our LRI, Austin. The goal is to simplify the process to get teams through inspection faster, especially if it's not their first event and they've changed nothing, with the complete goal of getting onto the field and for as many matches, as much field time as possible. All right, we have one more thing in the handbook, and then we're all done, folks. All done, and then we get on with the game show, which I hope you're sticking around for, because trust me, it's gonna be fun. All right, the last change to kind of talk about is one I'm really excited about. Just want to find it in the handbook here. Found it. All right, so there has been a small update to the ARL Championship All-Star Award. If you're familiar with the ARL Qualifier All-Star Award, you know that it is a peer-nominated award. So basically, you collect your nomination form from PidAdmin, and you can write someone's name on there and why you believe they are deserving of the ARL All-Star Award, right? And then we recognize that person at the end of the event, probably during finals or whatever, in between. essentially how it's worked the first couple years is that the ARL All-Star rolled over into the ARL Championship. So the ARL All-Star Championship award was just the same thing as the ARL All-Star Qualifier award. Well, that's where things changed this year. We really wanted to elevate and continue to recognize those who win the ARL All-Star Qualifier award with a brand new take on the ARL All-Star Championship award. So this is where it's a little different. The ARL All-Star Championship Award recognizes one student who has previously been awarded the ARL Qualifier Award during the 2025 ARL season. These winners are invited to the ARL Championship for a 5-minute Dean's List style interview with a small panel of judges. So continuing with our theme for ARL, one of our goals, which is to provide as much practice and preparation for events. Right? Last year we introduced judge awards, right? A huge part of your team at an event is judged awards, right? Judges come around and they talk to your team, so we want to provide an opportunity for you to practice that, right? And so you can now. You can opt into judging at all of your qualifiers, and then we actually have the judge awards at the championship. So continuing along that theme, what else can we do? Well, interview awards, interview style awards like Dean's List is another part of the competition. We'd love to figure out how to help prepare. Right? And so this is an opportunity for us to do two things, right? It's an opportunity for us to continue to elevate the ARL All-Stars who had won at a qualifier, and then practice some Dean's List style interview. Yes, Izzy's right in the chat, but I can answer for everybody if you're not reading the chat. We do have a mentor-focused award as well. But like, if you didn't know it existed last year and you didn't submit for it, I highly encourage you do this year because it's important. That is right above the ARL All-Star part in the handbook. It's called the ARL Season Standout Award. Okay? Right? And that honors a mentor who has gone above and beyond to support their students during the ARL season specifically. Right? So we can chat about that for a couple seconds, right? So let's say you have a mentor or a teacher who went out of their way to load the robot and drive you guys all to every event for the whole ARL season, right? That would be great thing to write about, how program changing that has been. Without that person doing that, right? A team might not have made it to all of the events, or whatever the case is. So we do have a mentor focused award. Now we have a student focused award at the championship level to go along with our other pit judged awards. So really excited to expand upon that. And then that, along with our inspection changes, our capacity changes, our playoff changes, we're really hoping that this season of ARL is truly our best yet, and then that teams can get the most out of whatever they need to get out of it, right? If you need to build more robots because you don't think you build good enough robots, build more robots. If you don't think your drive teams are prepared enough, come drive a lot. If you think your pit crews need work with judges, opt into all that. If you think your team is slow every event on getting inspected and you feel like you're 30th in line every time, I'd opt in for every full inspection you can. Figure out how to make your process faster. Sometimes you can't, but hopefully you can. Whatever you think your program or your team needs to get out or practice, ARL, that's the goal, right? We're trying to bring that to ARL. And then in addition, like I said, at the top of the show, I'll repeat, we are going to be bringing back ARL workshops, and they will be here on the Twitch channel, and then they'll be posted on our YouTube afterwards. So that's going to be once a month starting in June. We're going to have a prominent community member give a workshop on a variety of topics here on a Twitch channel. So hopefully that, again, also contributes to some changes or some things that your team is looking for. That's about it, everyone. As always, we hope that the ARL events are fun. And they're lighthearted, and the goal is the students. The goal is, experience. So that's our goal. That said, you do get a banner for winning the ARL Championship. So let's play hard, but let's do it in the right way. I do have one more exciting update. I don't have one on hand because they're in Phoenix, and I don't live in Phoenix. I don't have one on hand. But if you've won an ARL event or an ARL qualifier in the past, you may know that your team was extremely lucky to receive your very own genuine Student of the Month looking signed certificate, right? We had winner's certificate for the qualifiers. Well, I'm very excited to say that we are upgrading this year. Certificates are gone. We now have essentially smaller versions of our championship plaques for qualifier winners. They're quite cool, and they'll be much easier and cooler to display for your school, your sponsors, and things like that. So, win a qualifier. Who'd have thunk? Yeah, it does look like Student of the Month. I know. Listen, to get things off the ground, that's what we went with. I hope those who have won has enjoyed their certificates. But we are upgrading. Always looking for ways to upgrade. All right. So, I think that's it. Usually at this time, we just talk about nonsense or whatever. But I am super excited to introduce the ARL Prediction Show, one of our new shows that we're bringing this year. Yeah, I don't really have much to say. So I have a wonderful panel of guests who are all muted in Discord with me right now. But I'm going to turn things over to our awesome host, Izzy. And I'm going to switch to OBS here to be our five-person view. So thank you all for attending the ARL Kickoff show. If you're sticking around for the prediction show, we may talk about your team. And we'll have a lot of fun doing it. If you're not, you can catch the prediction show and this show on our YouTube or reruns on Twitch. Thank you all, and we'll see you in 10 seconds as I switch over to the prediction show.